Wait, so Mike, you were just saying something really interesting about AI. Say what you just said again. Let's
Okay.
set this off.
All right. So AI, Matt, I was using AI do you ever use AI for generating like what we call deliverables? What a great word. Deliverables, a client, like you're going to send something to a client or a friend and you want it to make it look nice. So like you use AI to generate some good looking stuff, right?
First of all, yes. Second of all, I love the way that you use the term deliverables, and it made me realize we've all become consultants. We've all become management consultants, and their language has invaded our everyday thought process, and it's spilling from our lips. Yes, I found Claude to be particularly good at that, like one-pagers, summaries, slides, that kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. So I was just doing this, right? For a client, I was like coming up, it was direct indexing. It was what I was working on. What is direct indexing? How does it work? And how would it apply to you? I think it'll save you like tens of thousands of dollars.
No, so, let's do an episode on direct indexing. Go.
Okay.
All right.
So I was creating this slide and in 20 minutes, I have a nice looking slide. It uses my brand colors. I was able to tweak it, and it's got some great visuals and a little bit of text. And so now I can deliver this to my client, quickly explains how they can save tens of thousands of dollars. And so that's great. And so the question is like, did this save me time? Was that 20 minutes? Did it save me time? Is AI saving us time? That was our last episode, right? And the answer is like, it absolutely did not save me any time because I thought about it. I would not have even created that a year ago or 2 years ago. I would have banged out like an email with a bunch of text and then maybe some Google spreadsheet. Maybe it was like 30 minutes versus like I used AI for 20 minutes, Now, is the deliverable for my client much better? Yes, obviously. It looks a lot better. It looks better. It's got better explanations and everything. But that's the problem is that we keep, as you said, Matt, we keep moving the goalposts, or I frame it as, aren't a lot of things in your life just ostensibly better? Like driving your car is a better experience than it was 10 years ago. Using your phone is a better experience than it was 10 years ago. So my client now has a better experience than they would have gotten from me even like 2 years ago. But it's just, that becomes the new expectation. So it's no longer saving us any time.
So many thoughts. I mean, I think what you've laid out is deeply profound. It's like a fractal. The further you drill down, the more you see complex patterns that are like just as complex the further down you go. I mean, the immediate thought is this is a corollary of a trademark theorem that I've developed that I'm sure a million other people have come up with as well, because I'm not original, which is that capacity always gets filled.
It reminds me, two thoughts. It reminds me, 50 years ago, the predictions that like, in another 20 years, no, we'll be just working 4 hours a week because now we have like the laundry machine and you don't have to wash your own laundry. You put it in and press a button, and you got like a dishwasher and you put in all the dishes and you press a button. Think of all this time savings. People like, what will they do with all this free time? It's like, no, capacity gets filled.
It's just a tool. You said this when we had the basic jumping off point conversation for this. It's like, it's a tool. And because it enables you to do more things, it means that, well, now you need creative people to still come up with smart ways to use the tool. I made a birthday present for my wife, which was a 5-minute video putting together like little, like a slideshow and video clips from the last 10 years of our kids. And I was outraged to discover that I own the iPhone 14. And if I only owned the iPhone 15, I could have used Apple Intelligence to just give it an instruction and it would do it all for me. And instead, like a caveman, I had to select these things and arrange them myself.
First of all, I can't believe that you buffoon. You manually like grabbed photos, you scrubbed through, you looked at them yourself, trying to put together like the photos and videos. One click of a button, Matt. Come on. Jeez.
Okay, but I have a thought about that, but I'll put it in the bookmark. So, get back to your core question. Like, why doesn't it feel like, are we really saving time, right? Like, are we really getting more productive? I think unquestionably, we're measuring the question against goalposts that are receding from us. Like the basic function of, I want to watch last night's game. Think about what a pain in the ass it was. If you would even remember to record it on your VCR, then right. You got to like rewind, fast forward, like all of that is so incredible. Like my kid, my 10-year-old, it's like, I don't watch last night's game. There's already a 12-minute YouTube highlight reel, which is way better, and pulls that up.
Can you imagine, Matt? Can you imagine our kids like sitting there for the rewinding or the fast forwarding?
Oh gosh, they'd be like, okay, can I look down on a phone? No, that doesn't exist. We're 30 years in the past. This is the Back to the Future scenario. It's like, wait, I can't like scroll while you do this boring thing. It's like, no,
you just have to sit there.
You have to actually just watch me do the task. But that's exactly the thing you made me think about when you were making fun of me for going by hand through. I'm not some Luddite of like, it was beautiful back when we have to sit in our cars and entertain ourselves when we were kids and like look out the window. But there is something to that. So like I'm going by hand through this, curating process of photos. And we took a photo. One of my kids got a horrible black fly bite on his eye, and he looked like a fighter. He he had this horribly swollen eye. And in retrospect, since it was fine, it's really funny, and it's a great triggering memory. And AI never would have selected that photo. I did.
How do you know that? You don't even know that.
A whole memory and conversation. And what I wonder about is, are we in a subtle long-term way getting less productive, even when it feels like we're getting more productive? The goalposts are expanding. You have this incredible client presentation on, was it indexing?
Direct indexing.
So you've got this incredible thing. And I wonder if even as we're creating more beautiful outputs and we're expanding the goalposts, we are losing something that's making us less productive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And it also leads to a thought of like less productive and sort of what's the point? Is the point to become more productive? Is the point like, I got to produce more stuff? And then my question is like twofold. One, is that what living is? Like, is that what life is all about? Just like how much you can produce? Which is clearly not the case. So what's the point here? And then the other thought is that in terms of your satisfaction and happiness, it is driven by how much work it takes, the effort. There's clear studies on like if you get an A, but you're able to breeze through the class, it feels fine. If you get an A, but you had to work really hard for that A, you feel way better. And so we're constantly removing effort, right? From everything we do. Everything is a click of a button. Everything is like, I can DoorDash. I could just like, I don't even have to do anything. I could sit here, I can press the button and make the 5-minute beautiful birthday video, right? With just one click, instead of, let me put in some time and effort, and then you reap the rewards.
It reminds me so much of the documentary Spellbound. It was about kids, it was about 25 years old, kids competing in the National Spelling Bee. And there was like, most of the kids are children of immigrants because these are people who are incredible and still know how to work. No diss on native born Americans, but here we are. And there was this one dad who just put it so beautifully about his kids that the point of the spelling bee wasn't to learn to spell lots of words. It was to learn to strive for something that's very difficult and what it means to put in that work. And that's what it takes to achieve something. And you do lose something. You really do. And that's why we never got to this in our episode on AI. But, I've developed a rule for myself of use robots to talk to robots. I think the use case that you described here of, I'm creating a summary, and it's actually better for the client to have it be beautiful, easy to absorb, and me putting in that work increment, that's fine. Like, I don't need to do that. Not that your clients are robots, but like, that's a function that it's better to use a machine to do. I think where your point really strikes home for me is, if you're going to create something, if you're going to learn something, if you're going to become great at something, you're robbing yourself, and your output may be worse in the short term, but it'll be so much better in the long term if you keep the robots out of it.
Yeah. And you know what is great about that story, Matt, of Spellbound and the spelling bee? Is that after you recorded it, you put in the effort to rewind that whole VCR tape just so you could watch it again.
That's right. And then I took it back to the video store.
There you go. Thanks for joining us on 5 Minute Finance. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to and rate the podcast. It makes a huge difference for my show. You want more? Find Morton FA on Substack. If you have a comment or question, please email pod@mortonfa.com. Until next time, thanks for tuning in. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be considered for investment advice. Opinions expressed are as of the date of recording. Such opinions are subject to change. I cannot guarantee the accuracy or completeness of the data presented here.